Last year, I was sponsored by Ocean Drive Studio to review and promote their upcoming game, Lost Eidolons, a gritty strategy RPG that took a ton of inspiration from Fire Emblem Three Houses, among others in the genre. I really enjoyed my time with it and was happy to spread the word on a quality game like that. And today, I'm partnering up with Ocean Drive Studio as this video's sponsor once again, and it's my pleasure to talk about their new game, Lost Eidolons: Veil of the Witch, a spin-off of the original that combines its own core SRPG gameplay with roguelike mechanics, exploration, and progression. Think Fire Emblem meets Darkest Dungeon or Final Fantasy Tactics meets Slay the Spire. In a nutshell, the setting of the game is this. You play as Ash, stranded on a mysterious island with fragmented memories. Your only way to survive is to cut down anyone, human or otherwise, who stands in your path. Where Lost Eidolons and its inspirations have a large cast, this game has a roster of 8 playable allies. You must navigate chance events and shifting paths that can either aid or hinder your journey, and make wise choices from random skill and equipment options to grow strong enough to face 3 bosses across 3 chapters. While you may think that 3 bosses and 3 chapters isn't much to go off of, don't get it twisted. The full game at minimum is going to be a 20 to 30 hour experience with a hidden unlockable boss at the end. So first of all, let's go over the gameplay of Veil of the Witch. Starting with your roster of 8 units, you campaign across the mysterious island of Nereos, trying to reclaim your memories and keeping peace on the island from the last flickering embers of the Empire from the first game. As you clear maps, you level up, randomly roll abilities that vary from common, rare, legendary, and so on, and invest in a unit's equipment using resonance stones. You can also collect sacred embers that can be used at your base to give permanent global stats, as shown here. Whenever you complete a map, you will be given random forks in the road, and it's up to you as to how you want to progress the expedition. Do you want to earn some gold for purchasing? Do you want to fight for runes for promoting your units, stones for enhancing your equipment, rest at a campsite, heal up and build rapport with your allies, or pick the random chance choice? The maps themselves are also randomized, and as you restart your exhibition, maps you once played may not be there, and instead new ones providing new challenges. The gameplay loop is straightforward and easy to understand. Fight, invest in something, rinse and repeat until you finish the boss of that chapter. In my current run, I was able to roll good skills and items for a pretty strong 5-man expedition. But at the end of chapter 2, where I had to fight the boss, this knight named Bernhardt, I was simply no match for him. And after speaking with one of the developers themselves, it turns out it was intended. The surprising thing about this game is that you are supposed to die. There is no permadeath for one thing. In fact, the only penalty you receive for a unit dying is that they come back with 1 HP, but they retain all of their progression. But you're supposed to reach a limit. You dying and coming back to life is actually part of the narrative, and in fact, it progresses the story. That's what surprised me the most. In my head, I was thinking, I'm already on the boss of chapter 2, surely I'm doing well. I mean, my unit loadout was pretty strong, I got pretty good RNG, but when I just admitted defeat and gave up, the story and the mechanics progressed even further. I'm on my 2nd expedition as I'm writing this script on November 3rd at 3:38 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, and just finished chapter 1 all over again, building my way back to that 2nd chapter boss. While I may not have the same skills and weapon enhancements as my first run, I still have Marco, the physical tank of the game, newly promoted with higher tier base skills. I also have Emil with a new skill loadout. In my first expedition, he had some utility with the skill Shadow Double, which created a duplicate. It functions very similar to the Replicate class skill from the Mechanist class in Fire Emblem Fates. With it, I used the Shadow Double to run to a zombie summoning beacon in chapter 1 and turned it off undetected using the other thief skill, Covert, which turns him invisible. With this game, you essentially take what you get to add on temporarily to your steadily, permanently progressing characters. You can re-roll skills and unique stat boosts when you level up, but it does come at a cost. And with the right strategy on the maps themselves and the creativity with the loadout you have for that expedition, your goal is to see how far you can get, but with enough time and with more expeditions on the island under your belt, you will beat the game. Eventually, I abandoned my second expedition. Because of all the items I acquired leading up to it, I was able to promote Ash, invest more in Sacred Ember buffs, and was even able to complete the side quest of recruiting Soraya, a necromancer character with deep ties to the undead monsters you fight in the game, who can summon them herself. If you watched my review of the original Lost Eidolons, which you should check out if this game sounds interesting to you, the turn-based SRPG gameplay is the same. Lost Eidolons took a ton of inspiration from 3 houses, but it also included terrain interactivity. It added a ton of unique skills and passive abilities and status buffs and debuffs. Veil of the Witch is that, but at a smaller scale, because you're not Eden commanding and managing an entire army with dozens and dozens of playable characters. You're literally a ragtag group of 8 fighters trying to survive on this mysterious island. This means that the tactical gameplay is tightly bundled and very fast-paced. Due to the nature of its gameplay loop, it does its best to waste no time. The map animations are fast and snappy. You can skip watching through enemy phase entirely and fast forward your own turns. With the engine running this fast, alongside the smaller scale map design, what you end up with is a fast-paced, turn-based tactics experience. The only thing that is going to slow you down is just thinking about how you want to handle a group of enemies. The original Lost Eidolons received criticism for its dated-looking graphics, mainly noticed in dialogue cutscenes where its in-game models were seen up close. This game, not only having cleaner models all around, also goes the more traditional presentation route with the 2D illustrations for cutscenes, and even has Fire Emblem Heroes-esque illustrations for when they use legendary skills, which I think is a pretty cool touch. In the full release of the game, it will be fully voice acted just like the original, and the voice work was very high quality, so you can expect the same here as well. With the smaller cast, more attention can be given to quality presentation and well-developed background stories. In addition, the final release will also have a, like I mentioned, final hidden boss that can be unlocked if certain conditions are met. There will also be a Trials mode, which lets players set up their own rule set and difficulty level. And Nintendo Switch players, do not fret. The game will be available and optimized for the Switch and Steam Deck. Veil of the Witch is a roguelite, gritty, and fast-paced turn-based strategy. If you're hankering for some great quality grid-based combat and well-done characterization, you have to check this game out. To celebrate the Steam Early Access launch, the game is running at a 20% discount. The price is down to $15.99 US from $19.99 US. This promotion lasts 13 days from November 5th to the 18th. In addition, the developers kindly gave me 10 game keys, 5 for the original Lost Eidolons and 5 for Veil of the Witch. I created a Gleam giveaway with 10 winners, and if you want a chance to win, please take a look down in the description for all the campaign details. If this sounds interesting, consider buying it. It's a very affordable game packing a ton of great content. It has been a blast chatting with the Ocean Drive Studio devs once again. So, again, thank you for sponsoring this video, and I hope you check the game out.